along with you in your dark time. And then how it works in my life, I didn't really get out of a dark time, and then another one came, and another one, and another one. And before you know it, every day seems like it's a thunderstorm, right? Doesn't have to be, but you can make it into one really easy.
Somewhere where there's no hookers. Somewhere where my wife isn't a hooker. Somewhere where my son isn't the byproduct of a hooker.
I want better for you. I want better for Don, because what is the point of being here on earth if you're just going to suffer and you're just going to have people around you that cultivate the suffering, right? None of this needs to be on here. None of this needs to be on here. None of it. It all needs to be private.
I just want my wife and my son.
None of this needs to be on here. None of it. It all needs to be private. It all needs to be handled between your higher power, your sponsor, right? Once you get you a higher power and a sponsor, and usually in that order, right?
She's trying to act like I did something to her.
You get yourself a higher power and a sponsor, and you'll start getting back all the things you thought you never had access to.
It can happen today. It has.
Locked out, or that have locked you out. Because a part of this process is if you do it fearless and soul searching, these people are gonna they have a tendency to open back up, right? Those people that you thought you've lost forever, they don't have to mess with you every day. You just have to know that the chi is now in the right direction, right?
I'm just so tired. I'm thinking about shit I don't want to think about.
None of this needs to be on here. None of it. It all needs to be private. There's things you can do today to make your next week smooth, right? I'm not here to tell you how to do it. I'm here to tell you it can be done.
I don't gotta do anything.
Residence restriction lifted on mother. Father ordered to pay guideline child support based on minimum wage. Father ordered to reimburse mother for...
Because what's going to work for me doesn't always work for me every day. And so it's certainly not going to work for you. You got to, and that's part of the work, is finding out what works for you. But you got to try. None of this needs to be on here. None of it. It all needs to be private. This isn't representative of trying. This isn't it.
I just want my wife and my son.
Just because you come on here and cry doesn't mean to the real warriors. That doesn't mean anything to us. Come on here and cry, but it's because of the same thing over and over and over. No, it cannot be.
What happens? What you're never gonna find is me being a bad father, ever. What you're never gonna find is my kid on someone else's panel telling the internet how much of a piece of shit I am. Never. It's white and black.
None of this needs to be on here. None of it. It all needs to be private. Absolutely, crimes. First things first, right? You got to follow that court order. You know what? I think it'll go a long way, right? Like, come on now. These people don't have to try to track you down, sweetheart, to try to find out where you are and what you're up to. They know you haven't went nowhere and did no rehab. So still, to this point, you could go to rehab, and that might mean something to somebody. Man, you got to try, man.
I've never felt more alone than this.
Definitely got to try. None of this needs to be out here. None of it. And it all needs to be private. I hate to think that those boys with whatever was in that letter have already seen more than they're willing to look at anymore. They don't want to see no more. I don't know. That in itself is going to be quite the task, right? I mean, guys just sort of left them out there.
I haven't heard the pitter-patter of little feet in so long.
Now, I know it's a long ways away, but you just left them out there. You probably could have filed a motion to get them moved closer. It's all kinds of stuff you could have probably done. Just because they were out there doesn't mean they had to stay out there.
I'm just so tired. I'm thinking about shit I don't want to think about.
No, you do what you're supposed to do. File motions, get them moved forward, get them moved towards you more. All that is possible. All possible.
Can't do it.
It's nothing.
I can do so many other things besides this.
But I'm guessing what they did was they moved those boys out there as
You're
far
going to
west
save
as
my
they
life
could,
today.
from as far east as you were, just to see what motivation you put into it. And what'd you go? Once or twice?
This doesn't feel like I'm taking steps towards my son.
Man.
I'm just having a really hard time going in.
I mean, Don, he went to jail for 6 months. Came home, right back at it. Right back at it.
I can't do it on my own. I need some help, and I've been doing it on my own too long.
People can tell if your head is where it's supposed to be at. They know. They don't have to like you. You don't have to like me to know that my head is where it's supposed to be at. They don't.
I got help like I've had, which are all lies. It's not helpful. I'm trying to understand why someone that says they love me would lie to me and then not help me.
Now, they can come on here and act like they do, but they don't. We watched you. As little as I know about your situation, I know you got $300 or something last week. Didn't ultimately turn around and go immediately up there. Now that you've been home a very short time. He's beat you up.
This doesn't feel like I'm taking steps closer to my son.
But you want your kids back. Is that a fair appraisal of all this? I think it is.
Well, it is a step closer to your son. If you don't resolve this, you'll never see him.
So now that I have a fair appraisal of it,
I didn't do anything.
what's really going on? Have you ever really answered that question? Have you ever answered the question, what's really going on?
I did not stalk this woman.
Because now this has turned into some sideshow.
How could I stalk her when I don't want to see what she's doing?
I mean, look at your situation. You're on here showing your kids clothes from the day she was whatever. And you've spent 2 years doing this stuff. Do you know in 2 years, there's 24 months in the court? In order to be in compliance, you only had to go away for one of those months. One. To be in compliance.
Can't do it. I'm not going to do it. It's not.
Guess you thought in the deep, dark corners of your addiction that you could do it your way.
I'm not. I'm going to make one more call.
That you could do it your way, and that the outcome would be when you wanted it to be, and it would be all of that, right? That's not what happened. And that's not what people were telling you along the way.
I don't hate her, even though She's already with another man,
I
and
mean, Mr.
probably
Mullins,
what we
for
saw
crying out loud.
in our Luca
That's got to be something
was a result
that you encourage
of
every
him
day.
being forced to be around a new
Because
man,
I'll tell you what,
but also forced not to tell the people that he
if I
loves what's
had
going
more
on at
time
home.
there while I was there, you do know
It's very.
I sat in a rehab with him
She's a hooker.
for almost 2 hours, signing him in.
She
after
is a
his
hooker.
Knoxville
If she
run
was
made
a
December.
quarter horse, I would call her a quarter horse. She, however, is not a quarter horse.
I did.
She is
You've
a
been
prostitute.
there almost
She is a
the
sex
whole time.
trafficker.
minus
She
whatever
sex
you weren't there in the
trafficked
front.
herself. What is that? What?
One night.
Where do they do that?
Not even one night. 2 hours.
Anything to do.
I was able to talk him into going to
I don't
rehab.
want anything
Ooh,
to do
That's the beauty of it,
with.
right? That sometimes
Why
it's
do
about
I
how
have to
long you
hold
do it,
on
and other times
to the
it's about
hooker
how good
There's
you
gonna be
do it
highlights.
while you're doing it.
On those fucking machines we used
I
to look at when we were
Had
kids,
convinced
they put
him in that
plastic
short
over
amount
it
of
and they
time,
can write on it with
to
the
look
bucket.
inside
What
himself
was that?
and for his kids.
I forget what they. It
Go
wasn't a
get sober,
protector, it was
man.
Some other word.
It's what they're telling you have
But-
to do. They're not saying.
Yes.
They said you have to get your house in order and you have to go to rehab.
You know, your mom is married to a guy that beat the teeth out
I
of
mean,
his wife's
obviously
face.
they shouldn't have to tell
So
you in what
they
order
can't
those
get
come in.
Luca,
Clearly
right?
they mean
That's right.
go straight to rehab. Do not pass go. As soon
Ty
as you
and
get out
Laura,
of fucking rehab, go
they won't
straight
be
to your
getting it
house,
either.
remodel it, do
Because
not
I've already
pass
reported
go. They do not mean
how
stay
they
out,
let
try to
Christian
juggle
live.
your fucking addiction and half-ass clean your
Fuck,
house up.
only you are
because you
capable
didn't
of
do
picking up
either
two of
one
your
of them.
sons. Ty and Laura will never get
It
that
did not take a rocket
Ever.
scientist to figure
Ever,
out
ever, ever.
what order those two needed to be done.
Ever.
Rehab first, save your life, save the house second.
My
Because
mom is a
as it was, the
fucking
house
ER
sat
nurse,
there 6 months
right?
with no one inside of it.
My dad's a fucking
It didn't fix itself.
conflict hero.
You could have spent one of them months you were in jail, in rehab, and
Spent a
probably
lot of
not
time
even went to
yesterday in
jail.
the deposition about you and my
You didn't
dad.
even try to go to court.
Me and my lawyer are trying to figure out
With
a
a
cute
AA
pet name
slip
for your
with some
vagina
shit on it.
because we don't
I
want to say
told you what you
vagina
had to
over
do,
and
baby.
over and
What
over.
do
You
you
can't
do?
say pussy.
I told
or
you.
Box and
And you
court.
couldn't do it.
So,
No. It's not that you couldn't do it.
I think we're gonna call it
It's
beef.
that you wouldn't do it.
It's because it sort of looks like roast beef. Now, with
I
that
would
being
say,
said, from here on out,
realistically,
I don't give a fuck what happens to you.
97%
I don't care.
of people
I
who
will-
are
I do
told by
wanna
the
say that-
CPS they need to go to rehab, go.
I am not so obtuse
Because they actually
to
want
think
their kids
that
back.
I could
What were
have
you
had
afraid of missing?
the very same
And you
son.
know what? I'm really
with a
scared
different
to
woman.
think right now.
No, I understood that I
No, he
could
didn't
only
stay.
get my son with a bitch like
He
you.
walked out. He ran
Only
out, charged
something
out,
so
cussed his
great.
way out.
Could come from something so fucking polluted.
You went to
bet
jail,
you
you told me,
secretly-
for 4 years, Candace.
The new
For
boy
pointing
toy
that
that isn't going to
shotgun
be
at
around
the
for much
CPS
longer.
people.
You
You've
watch.
done that for your
Hey,
kids, right?
how's
4
Natalie and
years.
Taylor faring? They probably
48
hated
months
that I told
for
them
them
at
kids.
11 o'clock at night. It's
But
probably
for,
gonna be
to
hard to
save
find a
the
pistol
3
here
wouldn't
for
go
cocaine.
28 days?
They need to try to find one because CPS is on the way.
What
Oh,
do you
yeah.
mean?
Fucking faggot.
Wouldn't go 28 days.
Mind your business, old man. Like, you've legitimately lived with your fucking mom your whole life.
You know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things
But you eat a dick
I
up.
wished I could hear people say.
Jesus.
YouTube people, my wife.
So they didn't
Like
take
things you always just wonder, like, if I
Won't
could
take
ask
me,
them this and they weren't
Because the lady is
gonna
worried
have an attitude.
I could get a
fucked
blood
up,
clot
Like, what would they say? And
in my
usually,
leg.
the question I would ask all of them
Fucking YouTube is full
is
of
if you had a
losers.
chance to go back and do it, would you do it again?
And I guess some people
Or
that
would you do it
are
better?
incapable of winning. Doesn't necessarily make you a loser. It just makes you incapable of winning.
Man, I would do it better. It's the things you can trick your mind into doing. You can trick your body, your mind can trick your body into doing. Out of love.
It's
Right.
just that easy. Yeah. We'll go ahead and let the hooker with the herpes go to whoever the fuck she wants. I don't give a shit.
Man, do it better. That's right, Flipper. Man, I do it better.
Like, my grandma died when me and him were together, and that's the only person I had. So I had Christmas ornaments every year, like personalized ones, pictures. This man was mad at me and cut up every picture I have of my grandma, busted glass ornaments that I've had since I was 1 year old. Like, I had anything I had of her destroyed. And those are the things he would do. Like, so I stopped acting like I liked anything. I stopped acting like I found joy in anything because otherwise he'd just take it or break it or
Oh,
he'd
you have no idea that that's a monster.